What's going on this fine Wednesday evening? Hey, I got my chat back this week. Hey. Hopefully everything's working all right tonight. So far, so good. What's going on, Mr. Haslage? All you guys out there in Facebook and YouTube land, how we doing tonight? Already? I thought you were just you just got there. I see. You did say LAX, didn't you? Jeff is a Cali baby. What's going on, Mr. Zedman Wilson? Sounds good and looks good. I don't know how good it looks, but hopefully it sounds all right. What's going on, Mr. Matt Kramer? Mr. Tony Pasquale? Mr. Robert Cash? What's going on? How we doing this fine evening? I'm going to have a few people on here with me here in a little bit, I think. So, what's going on, Mr. Carroll? We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. Oh, dang. Well, I'm glad you made it safely, Jeff. Shannon, what's going on? So what's everybody up to this fine Wednesday? Everybody getting ready? We're getting close. It's almost time for a show. It won't be long. We'll blink a couple more times. What's going on, Mr. Ricky Lewis? Working, that's a good thing. Mr. Mayo. Yo. Oh, recapping an amp while watching. I never was good at that stuff. What's going on, Mr. Pops? Well, I do know I got a couple things. I know what's going on, Mr. Castro. I know we have Texas and then to Miami. Brian's on the move. I'll be on the move a little bit next couple weeks. Mr. Kramer's back. But we are having a training event down in Orlando, Florida, March 2nd and 3rd. Make sure you check that out on the event calendar. Make sure you get pre-registered if you want to attend the training. Get with one of us, Shannon. Look at the flyer there. I think it gives you a link to how to pre-register if you want to. I'm glad you're starting to feel better, Pops. Y'all want to see something cool? It's called a ghost cup. Okay, now that I had my fun. What's going on, Terry? Mr. Ryan? No, I just accidentally grabbed the green cup. So it makes it a ghost cup. I don't know. I thought it was funny when I noticed it earlier. Okay. What else we got going on this evening? What's going on, Mr. Tyler, Mr. Kyle Walker? Sorry, trying to get things set up. I got a couple guys we're hoping to link in here. So what's going on, Miss Whitney? Oh, not a whole lot. Nose on the grinding wheel, trying to get stuff together, set things up for the year coming up. Uh, I think we've already got quite a few events on the show schedule. I think we're upwards close to 90 events on the schedule now. Um, so make sure you get over to the website and check that out. We're still There's still quite a few more coming in, so that'll get updated throughout the year. But we do have quite a few events scheduled early this season. So for all you guys looking to make plans, uh, make sure you go check out the website, mecacaraudio.com. Click on the event schedule. Make sure you click all events, and then that'll show you all the events. And I think, like I said, I think it's 87 actually, but it's close. I know there's enough left in the back end for Selena to enter to make 90. So I think we're probably closer to 95 or 100. They're just not entered into the calendar yet. So make sure you're keeping your eyes on the calendar as we fill that up. Heck yeah, glad to have you on board, Tyler. I can't wait to see what you do. Another thing we got going is I think on the 7th of February coming up here, and then the 21st, I'm going to be doing another live with South Africa. So and we're going to start trying to do that twice a month. It'll be on a Wednesday, just like the regular live. The only difference is it'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's about 6 p.m. I think their time. Uh, and then I'll still be doing my regular live show in the evening for all the guys here. But we're gonna start trying to um, do a live that gets to a lot of their competitors and things during their off time in the evening there, during the day at least twice a month on Wednesdays. What's going on, Mr. Ivy? So those are the couple things I got there. And now I'm just kind of waiting for a couple of my guys to get in here, and we'll get to trying to answer some questions and stuff. If any of you guys got any questions for me, go ahead and shoot them. We'll get this thing going. Yeah, they do. They've got some cool stuff going on over there, Miguel. And it's cool to see the, different styles and different ways of doing things and going about it. So that, all that stuff's pretty interesting. I agree. What's going on, Josh? All right, let's see here. I think I got Mr. Tony. What's going on, Josh Evans? How you doing this evening? All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to bring Tony on here. So, bam. Let's see. Can we hear you, Tony?
What's happening, everyone?
All right, I got you. That's good. How you doing tonight, man?
Good, man. Good. Thank you. How's all the MECA heads out there ready for this season to get underway and start getting some points toward finals?
I am. Oh, dang. I can't even do it. Dang. So I guess for any of you new guys, all of you that don't know, this is Tony Pasquale. He's our head sound quality judge here. Um, been working on our rule books here the last month or so. I think we're pretty close to buttoning those up. Sound pressure is pretty much ready to go. Dueling demos is getting very close. I think sound quality is pretty much buttoned up except for getting the edits to the book. And we're going to do a few little tweaks with show and shine. So hopefully, at least sound pressure dueling demos and sound quality is looking good for what I said. Show and shine might end up being a little late, but we've been pounding on that one a little bit too. So I think we're going to be doing good on our delivery dates of February the 1st. I, apologize everybody for making you wait about 30 days there, but I had to take those down so we could edit them. And they'll be right back up there on the 1st of February. But anyways, other than that, you want to tell anybody anything about yourself, Tony, before we get going here? If anybody has any questions, obviously I'm gonna have majority of my sound quality crew on here tonight. So, sound quality guys, if you got questions for these guys, um, let's try to get you taken care of.
Yeah, for those that may not know, I've been competing in sound quality for over 30 years, building cars as well. I have my own shop in Orlando, Florida, and I just love competing. I love the challenge. I love learning. I love music, live music especially. That kind of what bonded me to MECA because their sound quality program is all about live unamplified music is how it's judged. I believe we have the best format and the music is great. We have some new things on the horizon for everybody for this season, and it's been great. Just I love the competitors and everybody at the shows, and it's really a good aura that's happening. So I'm just excited for this next season to get underway.
Heck yeah. Well, I guess I lost my chat on the computer again for some reason. So I'm looking at my phone now. What's going on, Jason? Trying to catch up, Mr. Dominic Bussy, Chad.
Yeah, if anybody has questions, go ahead and let me see what you got. I have my iPad here so I can kind of go through if you're asking questions and we can get them answered for you.
All right. Not usually a whole lot of people watch on YouTube, but I'm monitoring Facebook here on my phone. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions here. So I'm going to go ahead and um, he said, "Who are you?" I'm going to go ahead and see here. I'm going to try to bring in Mr. Steve Head here. Just a second. Let's see. Hit my button.
There we go.
What's going on, Steve? Oh, he disappeared on me. He decided he didn't want to do it.
Stage fright.
Well, we'll figure that one out. We'll see what happened. Technical difficulties. Meet, meet, meet. Oh, here we go. Now let's try that again. Let's
Hey,
see. Can
there I am.
there he is. And it looks like we can hear him too. So I just kind of got done introducing Tony, and we're seeing if seeing if we're going to get any questions here so far. Not seeing a whole lot. I got one right here. We'll ask that here in just a second. But again, those of you that don't know here, this is Mr. Steve Head. Um, he's somebody that we brought on to try to help with the R&E direction of rules, help us with the music and things like that. So he might do a little judging here and there, but mostly helping us try to kick this ball in the right direction. So for those of you that don't know Mr. Steve, if you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, I'm sure they'd like to know.
Well, it's hard to imagine that people would be watching this and haven't heard of me in the past because I've been around since rocks were new. But basically, I've been doing competing in all formats that I could since about 1995, and competed national level. IASCA, SLAP back in the day, MECA, EMA, USAC back in the day. So I've gone through several judges trainings in the past. I am a certified judge currently. And if there's one thing in this world that I know, it's sound quality. So that's about all I can tell you. The second thing is orthopedics. The third thing is vascular surgery. The fourth thing is sound quality. So refer to A.
Fair enough. So again, I appreciate you guys taking time to come on here with us. And like I said, all my SQ guys on here that are watching, trying to do a little bit different approach here and give you guys a platform to talk some SQ stuff here and there. So we thought it'd be a good time to bring on some of these guys and let you ask questions or anything like that. Kind of like the sound pressure guys do with me. So some of the stuff that you might not want to ask me about or think I'm not certified enough to answer it. I got a couple people here now that we can hopefully have some good conversation and keep kicking this thing the right way. Try to catch up on some comments here.
Looking at my screen, I can't see any of the comments.
Yeah, so usually on my computer in this thing I use, but the last two times it's worked for about 15 minutes and then quit working. And because it usually shows me, because I'm actually streaming to two different places.
Right.
So like I'm on YouTube and Facebook. And so this thing usually shows me the comments from both. But for some reason right now, it's not showing me nothing. So I'm actually on my phone and I had to turn the volume off and I'm just reading on my phone.
Okay.
So the first question that we got was from Mr. Brian Gill, and he wanted to know how much money Tony spends on his hair products. Oh, he's not going to answer us. The second one was, let's see. If I missed one, make sure you ask me again. But what size and types of speakers are recommended for sound quality starting out? What type of drivers? That was from Miguel Castro.
It's just going to be vehicle dependent and class dependent for MECA. So you kind of look at your vehicle, see where placement is, how much you wanted to modify the vehicle. I know you're doing SPL currently as well, so you probably don't want to do a whole lot of modification. So I'd probably look at either stock or street class, and it's going to allow you speaker up high like a tweeter, or a very small mid-range like a 2.5, and then you can use your factory door location or whatever you have in that vehicle, and kind of go from there. If you want to customize some of the higher classes, let you get more creative and more freedom in what you do.
And to build on what Tony was just saying, it doesn't take an elaborate system to have a good sound quality system. You know, you can be competitive with a single pair of tweeters, a single pair of 5 1/4s or 6 1/2s, and a single sub. So it all depends on your install technique, your tuning, and you know, the vehicle acoustics that you're using.
Yes, I believe stock class this year was won at World Finals with a pair of tweeters up in the A pillars, 6-inch mid range in the door in the factory location, and one single 12-inch driver in the back of SUV. So, very, very simple system. And that's what currently is MECA World Championship in that class. So, it doesn't take a whole lot to get started in it.
All right, guys. I think that's a pretty good answer. So I just kind of flipped my camera off. My mic's still on, but that way it's easier for people to conversate back and forth with you guys there. Uh, it does. Let's see. Try to get these in order here. What's going on? Okay. Brian Gill asks, what is being done to bring the competitors' confidence back to MECA? And I'll let you guys go with that one.
Okay. Basically, we wanted to put sound quality back on point. A year ago, Bud and Shannon both came to me and asked me to help them out with that and be the head of their sound queue. So obviously, they care a great deal about the club and about sound queue. They come out in there that has over 30 years experience in this. Um, for training classes, they've had multiple scheduled now for each year and continually to improve on judges training. There's a lot of new people in MECA that are learning sound quality. They're wanting to either cross over or come into it. So we saw the need to have these training classes so we could give competitors the best judging possible. We go out, we got Steve Head, which has 30 years experience as well. More world championships than you could ever fit. We're building a judging team that is world renowned. So that should say speak volumes for what MECA is trying to do, as well as for the judging classes. They went out and spent quite a few bucks and buying some nice gear that they can have to conduct these training classes. They're going out also getting top cars from all over that compete and score really well and built really well, that they can come to the judges training and people can sit in them as new judges and learn, or people just go into the judges classes and they're a competitor and they want to know exactly what the judges are looking for so they can better themselves for competing. So we're going through all the great links that we feel is necessary so everybody can have confidence and compete in MECA and have a good time, as well as some of the rule book changes and songs that we have on the horizon as well. That's going to be released as new judging tracks. Um, we felt there was a big need of kind of refreshing this and making it new and modern since there is so many new people coming into MECA. So a lot of those changes are being made um, to further, and no changes made by one person. We always go by committee and R&E. So having everybody's opinion in on these changes. So we're confident that we're doing the right thing. And we're not changing a lot. It's just a few modifications, basically allowing people to have a little more freedom in their builds per class, show a little more creativity in their builds, and some new music, and getting the best trained judges out there.
And to build a little bit more on what Tony's been saying, I mean, yes, there's a lot of changes going on, but at the same time, we're going back to the roots and preserving what we historically have all loved in terms of MECA and being an organization. You know, the class formats, the score sheet, um, the way that we use 3 judges and do an average. These are all positive things that competitors like myself have grown to love, and we're working to preserve that, but implement changes where little tweaks here and there to the rule book to make it um, to keep the fairness, keep the consistency. And like Tony said, we're going all out to train the judges on, you know, what it means to have a musical reference, number one, and number two, how that plays out in the soundscape of a mobile audio system. So um, Bud and Shannon are 100% committed to this. Um, we've had multiple meetings with the R&E committee on several topics so far, and we've all worked together to come up with a nice collaborative music selection track or music selection pool rather to use for sound cue judging going forward, which that information will be released in the near future. That'll be used going forward, and I think everybody's going to find that it's pretty amazing. It's amazing stuff.
All right, guys. Well, I thank you for that. I think you kind of covered the gist of it there. Um, you know, obviously, you know, Shannon and I have been working hard to try to build things back up behind the scenes here, and we feel like we've got to the point where we do have a foundation at this point. We do have people to build with and build off of. We feel like we feel like we're finally kicking the ball the right direction, and hopefully the competitors are going to start to feel the same way, and we can get back on track. With that being said, um, I did see a couple other questions, but it looked like the people in the chat kind of answered them. But maybe you guys might have an opinion. One guy asked, "Are there any SQ geared speakers that can handle SPL life so the SPL don't blow the cones out?"
You
Um,
experiment with some crossover settings, maybe higher. So for SQ, they could be a little bit lower. And then
Mm.
when you go for SPL, I can speak for my vehicle because I do dueling demos and I do SPL classes as well. So I do have a DSP. And when I go to the SPL setting, all my mids and highs are down about 12 dB. So therefore, I'm getting everything signal wise to go to the subwoofers, and I have different settings between SPL and SQ. So
And I guess it also depends on what level of SPL we're talking about, because once you get above 160 or so, we start to have to consider a physical damage to the sound cue drivers, which may be delicate in that vehicle. So there's a lot of considerations there. In the lower classes, I think it can be done, but when you're getting up into the big dog classes where we're reaching 165, 170, um, you better be able to isolate the two systems in the vehicle.
I think those are all fair answers. Let's see. There's another one that was pretty decent. I think it was. Do you need time alignment with a tweeter up high and a 6.5 in the door?
100% true. Yes. The whole point
Okay.
of a DSP is phase coherency between the drivers and making up for suboptimal speaker placement that we're left to deal with in a car environment. And we have to use time alignment and phase to get the drivers to perform as a point source. That's the whole premise behind SoundQ. I mean, I'm not trying to say that EQ and other things don't play a part of this, but that's the basis. That's the basic building block that can give you realism in your system that we refer to as sound quality.
Let's see. Andrew Stevens. Sorry. And sound quality, the music selection and FLAC file format or what? Question mark. I don't.
That's going to be in lossless wave format, 1141 kilobits per second at a bare minimum.
All right. So,
and that's the basic format that virtually every CD player and media player recognizes. Some people will use Apple products as their source, which will be the AIIC files, I believe, it's basically Apple's lossless version of the same type of wave file.
Sweet. Well, that he seemed happy with that answer. He said thank you.
Okay.
Let's see. It looked like the guy that was asking about the speakers says, I start to blow hole in my stock speakers in like the 58s. So I think, Michael, how you would probably start need to handle that is I think kind of like Steve was mentioning, isolation somehow. Either a separate vehicle at that point or figuring out a way to protect your speakers when you are doing your sound pressure thing. Um, if you're actually breaking them from pressure, I would assume that was kind of what I took out of the explanation they gave. Is sometimes when you get to a certain area, there's just not a whole lot you can do. You got to try to protect your stuff.
Yeah, and you got to consider, maybe stepping away from a delicate paper cone driver and going to something that's reinforced. They make several Kevlar or carbon fiber sound quality mid-range components and mid-woofer components. Even the polypropylene cones would be a lot more durable for higher SPL, in my opinion, than paper.
Yeah, I guess I'm not loud enough to have that problem.
Well,
no, you must have picked them up.
you need to put more power on that thing, son. I'm kidding, of course.
So let's see.
By the
I'm
way,
not sure.
I still cannot see any comments or anything, so I'm just waiting on.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to relay most of them.
Okay.
Let's see. Harry said Apple files depends on if you buy or subscribe to it.
Well, that's going to be up to the competitor, Harry. The competitors, just like in IASCA and the other SoundQ orgs, will be responsible for obtaining their own copies of these commercially available tracks.
Okay, I think that's the majority of the questions I saw. If I missed you, go ahead and ask me again. If you have a question, we're ready. Shoot it. Let's see. they're still kind of talking about staying away from light cones and stuff and sound pressure.
Right. And I think, an idea that I had in my mind, Bud, about isolating those drivers if we ever run in or have a competitor that runs into that problem
Uh
is
huh.
maybe building their baffles in a manner that they can put a solid cover or baffle over the delicate drivers so that the sound pressure uh, doesn't cause too much excursion, damage the motor, or damage the cone on those delicate drivers. It's like a removable plug that goes over the baffle. I mean,
Andrew, we're not probably going to answer those kinds of questions. Unfortunately, we're we want to help all the brands and especially the ones that support the club here. So I don't want to get us into answering questions on what brand is better than another and etc. I think most brands make something that's worth having. So you know, I don't know that I'm sure that these guys been doing it for a long time. They do have their favorites, but I just think in the position where we're at right this second, it really the place to answer those questions. Um, let's see. Uh, if you're using marine in your door, can you spritz them for added fourth dimension?
sure. If Brian Gill is still listening, you're just jealous, like I am, of Tony's hair.
That's right.
Because Brian and I, we're getting a little thin up top, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was gonna have to borrow some of Tony's hair stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta get it going.
Bud, you'd look pretty good in a Tony do.
Yeah.
Maybe he can help you get that little wave at the front there that he does. There.
What is I am Chris Gamble? Let's see. On the SQ side, is there going to be definition between classes for different component setups? Two-way, two-way with wideband, three-way, four-way, etc. Question mark.
Tony, you want to get that one?
It was from Chris Gamble.
So it's going to be factory location versus what you can add for each class. So there will be a difference and there will be a limit as to the size of driver that you can put in each class. So, like I mentioned earlier, we are taking the classes and allowing just a little bit more freedom within the classes that are there for slightly bigger drivers. One thing that came to mind is most component sets, if you buy like a three-way component, it's typically a tweeter, a 2.5 or a 3.5, and then a 6.5. So we made some changes to allow you to buy from a manufacturer a box set and be able to compete in the class. Whereas before, I think it said 2 inch. So we went from 2 on up to 2.5 to allow that room for you to put and allow to purchase, different products for your vehicle and get a little more creative with the system. So
Yeah, and the seasoned MECA guys that are already previously used to the class distinctions before,
correct.
it's basically the same thing. I mean, we didn't go in there and rewrite the entire thing. It's just little tweaks, like Tony said, to allow mainstream component sets to be used in most classes. And again, it, like he said, it depends on the size of the driver, if it's a non-factory location, and the size of the build out that's needed for that driver.
The question from Andrew. So the rule book is going to be out very soon. We're only a little over a week, or right at 1 week from the rule book coming out. And all the class distinctions will be in there. But you're allowed to put an additional driver in some of these classes, but it has to be in a certain location. So depending on your vehicle and the build, that would depend, and whether you can cut metal within that or not. So those are the small changes, but we're going to be about 1 week out from releasing all this. We're just finalizing everything at the moment.
And for those of you who don't know, a very sexy Trini man has just joined the chat.
Senor Clifford.
There he is.
Hey, good night, guys. Sorry for the late entry. Actually working still, so my apology.
No problem. We welcome you, one of our World Finals judges from this year. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them. We'll try to get them answered.
Yep. Hey, Tony, I heard that there were a lot of comments about the quality of your hair.
They've been coming out more and more lately.
So we're having to rely on Bud and Tony basically to follow the stream of typed comments and ask, because on at least on my end, I can't see any of the typed comments or anything.
It's the same with me, Steve. I'm not able to see it.
Okay. And I see Chico has made an appearance.
Yes.
That's the sound cue dog. You know how RCA Victor has the big dog, and the little dog Chico is Florida sound cue dog. If he gets in your car and it sounds like crap, he's gonna let you know.
What are the signs, Tony?
So there was a question about like what fits in the factory location. So we did make one change in that regard as well. We all felt it was better if it fits, it's good. So you're not limited to a certain size, this and that. If the factory location is a certain size driver and you can fit it within class constraints, no cutting or build out, so forth, then put it in. If it just needs a ring or something, that's fine. So, like I said, about a week we'll have all that.
And Clifford, we were explaining earlier that the majority of the formats, classes, and all that stuff is not going to be any major changes there. That we have been working collaboratively on getting a new batch of sound cue tracks for judging going forward, and that list will be released in the very near future.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say, to mention about what it is that we're doing going forward to change MECA for the better?
I at this point, I would like to say that, you know, the amount of, say that again. Did anybody say anything? Sorry. Oh, I heard something from the background somewhere. What I would like to say is that I know that the team that sat and elaborated and deliberated on a lot of the things that would come forward with with some of the changes in the rule book, and even with the selection of tracks, is basically to offer more enjoyment to sound quality, and two, that it makes it easier for classifying and understanding the classes. So basically, it's all about competitor. It's guided to um, better equipping or having the competitors more comfortable, um, more comfortable that they would likely to want to compete and to make it more enjoyable. I think everything that we have done is get to that direction, and also it will be um, fun. We are trying to make it just more fun. I think that's what it's all about. Enjoying what we have, and sit down inside your vehicle and enjoy the stage, enjoy the system, and that's the main thing, you know, to just enjoy that liveliness of what you have. And I think everything that we have done to make the small changes, I don't want to say changes, the tweaks that we have done to what the rules are, is to make everything even more comfortable to everyone, even the judges. Yes?
Yes. And the definitive distinction between the classes.
Yes.
And Brian
I,
Gill, no more tantric, and he put a party favor up. But
Yeah.
still,
Tan-
the tantric disc as set up test disc. So that is also pretty cool if you don't have. It's just that it's been there for a number of years, so you know, people have been competing a while on stuff, but for new, it's a great disc with great tracks. Live instruments are just dynamite. So that is something that will help you set up your car.
not disregarding the tantric or even the chess key. They are great references, great references. But you know, it's all about, you know, modernizing to some extent and bringing a more liveliness to the to um to what we some people think it's boring. Some people think the reference tracks are boring and stuff like that. It's just bringing a enjoyment to everything, you know, excitement. Yes.
Right.
And
Right.
people are going to be just like beside themselves when they see the tracks that we selected as a group. It's amazing how we all come together with R&E, and the new song tracks that we have are outstanding. And it goes a lot with the MECA. We want live dynamics, want to make it fun. And this goes right along with that. So once we release this playlist, you guys can download it if you have Apple, Spotify, whatever, or want to buy the CDs and burn footage off of that. You guys are going to love the list that we have. It's a whole other level of excitement.
Yeah.
There is a Rose and
Yeah.
Spanish Harlem
and La Daddy. Spanish Harlem and La Daddy.
All right, guys, I'm gonna pop in for just a second. It looked like Jason Carter. I just got here a couple of minutes ago. Where can we find the new tracks? So currently they're not quite released yet, but I think the plan is basically when you do your membership or whatever, we'll give you the list, and then you can go source those tracks yourself. If you don't want to do that or you don't have a meteor player capable of that, we will still use the Tantric CD as reference if necessary. Um, so I kind of think that's the plan moving forward. Wasn't that kind of what we were talking about doing there, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Since these tracks are not proprietary and they're commercially available, they can be shared amongst the competitors. So if you're using media player or USB drive or something to that nature, can't source the track yourself, somebody will have them for you at the show.
Yes, I think at the events or the shows, we will provide um the list via USB or so forth. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm excited.
I am too. And I
I think
wonder,
every
I was just going to say, I wonder if we can take a moment to say that we're also working towards another goal in the SoundQ community is um, to get some not collaboration, but um, to sort of coexist with the other organizations. Um, maybe get some cohesiveness in the SoundQ community from that. Um, there's been some efforts by MECA to work towards a united finals for sound quality.
right.
Maybe going forward, we can incorporate SPL as well, but that's a different topic, different animal, a lot more competitors in SPL than there are currently. But this is exciting news for me personally because I am a competitor. That's all the competitors want is for the organizations to work together and be a collaborative effort. So hats off to Bud and Shannon for working toward that goal. Also, some of the other heads of organizations, which I won't name because we're not using those words right now, are we? But yes, they're trying to work together behind the scenes to make a unified finals, and I think that that's commendable, honestly.
Yeah, that's something we've been working at a while. Um, that work on my end just didn't work out. Definitely working toward it again, and others of MECA then have us, then probably make that.
Yeah, Steve. What I know is um, we have always tried to be connected with the other orgs. You know, I it's just some things within the bylines and sidelines that um, posed little issues that did not allow that. But I am very hopeful and trusting that openness and competitorship will open up, and that unification in terms of the orgs coming together and being open to host each other, that kind of thing, it will become a reality once more. The other thing is to see that in Trinidad here, Ayaska and Mecca, we have a pretty decent relationship. There isn't any whatever. We both can be at an event at any time. There isn't any shortcomings on that. So I think we are so far away, and we are able to have that sort of unification. So I think when we look at let's just say from where it came from, the US of A, then the example supposed to be from you all, not from us. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yes. I mean,
I'm hoping that the orgs will look at that and see that it's working on that side. What's the matter?
mhm.
And that the competitors will be open and want this more than anything, because guess what? The more we come together, it's bigger it's gonna be.
Right. You bring up a good point that it's not like the 90s when we have, 300 cars at every event. Um, if if we want Sound to thrive and to regain popularity, we all have to work together. And in today's day and age, where it costs an arm and a leg to go to major shows, you have very few people that'll go to multiple triple point events, different organizations. That's just the reality that we live in. So it behooves all orgs to participate in these larger events if they want their competitor numbers to thrive and bring new people to this sport. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. Other people might feel differently. They do. Uh, uh, quite frankly, they're sadly mistaken. I mean, I'm a competitor, and I know what's happening behind the trend, trend and whatnot, and what it takes to get to shows. And trying to stay a separate entity doesn't really make sense because we're not in the 90s anymore.
And that's a very good point, Steve. Very good point.
Yeah. I wish we were. I wish we were.
You know
Point
what?
on that we can only what will allow, because we try down, then not that we didn't try. I tried last year to make that happen, and phone call ended with nothing. So let's see what happens.
Well, maybe as competitors, if you're watching, you can press the directors of your organizations, your favorite orgs, to try and work together with the rest of us, and that'll help you cross over into other organizations as well. As a competitor, I think it's the right thing to do. We should all want Sound Q to thrive.
I I am a competitor, and basically, if we had the opportunity to have over, let's just say, more than two song quality associations in Trinidad, I would want to compete with everyone.
Right?
Because why? I don't know about you, Steve, but I think I have the best. So I would want to prove that to everybody.
Mhm.
Prove
You're
me
right.
wrong. Prove me
You're
wrong. Let me reform. Let me fix my problems and come back. Yes?
100%
And
true statement.
that's about competitorship.
Hmm.
And I think that we have I mean I've spoken to quite a few guys, senior guys, seasoned guys in the US of A that are competitors. And I know that these are smart guys, and I hope that that they would use that thing that they have inside of them, which is their conscience, and become that competitor that they are, and want to compete with every org, and MECA being one of those.
Mm-hmm. Tony looks like he's raring to say something.
Just reading the comments.
All right. Catch us up on some comments over there, sir.
Any questions, Tony, coming up?
I don't really see any. If anybody has, now would be the time.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing that we are just about 1 hour in the broadcast, so you know, I know. Bud likes to keep time.
Yeah, a little bit, but we're all. I mean, we're doing pretty good. It's all right. I don't mind staying on when it's productive.
Right.
So I mean, as long as we have productive questions coming in and we're giving answers, I don't see a problem with taking a little bit more time here. Um,
It's
so
all good.
if you guys got anything else for us while I have these guys here, that'd be great.
And I just want to say, even in South Africa, I'm seeing progress happening. You know, in the sound quality. Yeah, Tony.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely growing.
Yeah. I just saw all the orgs. A couple of the orgs were together in the Indonesia. They just had an event with Ricky, Mr. Ricky there. It was cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I always believe the more we stay together is the more we learn, the more we enjoy, the more we progress. Yeah, I just think that.
Agreed. It's all about the love of music. And if you don't have the love of music in your heart, this is the wrong thing for you to be involved in.
Correct. But I haven't met much people that got into song quality and wanted to move away from it because they are swallowed by what what it is, and they are consumed by that amount of liveliness that I don't think they ever want to move away from it, you know?
Right.
So Dominic asks if SQ gets a music playlist, why can't dueling demos? I mean, that's a pretty simple answer. Most of the competitors would string me up by my toes if I did that. um, because they want to play their songs. We have definitely discussed it, but it's just something that um, we don't necessarily feel like it will be accepted by the masses at this point. So um, that's a pretty simple answer right now, right this second, anyways.
Yeah. And I can give you a little backup on that. The reason that we select specific songs for sound cue judging is we're listening for specific things in those songs that helps us identify the audible cues in terms of staging and stage dimensions, height, width, depth, imaging, all the whole 9 yards. Um, Whereas dueling demos is show me what you got kind of presentation where we're still judging sound, but the competitor is free to choose the tracks that showcase the best capabilities of their system. Certain songs may not sound the greatest in car A, but they might sound phenomenal in car B. It's up to the competitor to choose to pick their best poison for those judges.
Josh Evans, on subject of doing demos, is there going to be any big changes? So The answer to that is I don't think there's any big changes coming at you. There's a few adjustments there, um, but honestly, there's not anything super big going on. Other than we are going to break the score sheet down a little bit more and attempt to make it a little bit more clear that certain things like loudness aren't all part of that. So we kind of broke impact off of the loudness part so that it's clear that it is a separate section. I broke showmanship and sound choice into two sections, basically just so that it's easier to understand that basically loudness is only 25% of the score sheet. Impact and clarity is basically 50%. And then 360 sound is 20%. And then song choice is 3%. Showmanship is 2%. So the showmanship thing's kind of a bonus section. The rest of it should be kind of hopefully self-explanatory at this point. But the cars that I guess really the best way to explain what we're looking for is, we're looking for the cars that can play the loudest, strongest, the cleanest. So that's kind of the challenge. Clarity for dueling demos is not necessarily 100% tonality, but I do feel like they hold hands greatly. Um, but in dueling demos, it's a little more forgiving because we expect it to be over amplified. We expect certain things. So it's not necessarily sound quality, tonality per se, but it's close enough. Um,
You can think of it as a lack of distortion or any audible distortions in that demo.
um, let's see. What's going on, Mr. Eric Roof? Okay. I don't see any other questions here. Did you guys have anything else you want to present to us or ask us? I got Tony here, our head sound quality judge. Got Mr. Steve here. Lots of experience in the sound quality game. Been helping us with the R&E stuff, selection of music. He's the. They told me he's the music master.
He
So so far I've enjoyed working with that guy too. So if you have any questions, any three of these guys probably can answer pretty much any sound quality question you got. And I would assume if they can't answer it, they know somebody that can. So is MECA still using three judges average for score at 4X's and World Finals? Yes, sir.
yes.
We are making a few adjustments to motorcycle dueling demos, Daniel. It's mostly speaker count stuff. I think we raised the speaker count a little bit, and gonna try to. That's all I'm gonna say for now because we're not quite done with it. But yeah, we did adjust some things in the motorcycle division, but I don't think it'll be anything too serious. We appreciate you, Eric.
Yes, very much.
What's going on, Mr. Whitworth? Or Whitworth, sorry.
Hey, Wallace, how's it going?
He said this may have been answered, but where does installation play a part in sound quality when it comes to scoring? So, how we do our sound quality, it has no bearing on your actual sound quality score. The install part of the competition is a completely separate competition that you can enter separately. We don't require that you run install. We don't require SPL, any of the extra stuff. We do have classes or things where we kind of combine stuff and you can win best the shows and things like that. So there are things like that I think are pretty neat, like the Bobo competition where you would be required to enter all that stuff. But it's, if you've got a good sounding car, but you don't necessarily think your installation's up to snuff, you don't have to do that. I don't know if these guys will have anything to add to that, but to answer your question, it really has no bearing on your sound quality score.
I mean, basically summed it up for me.
Yeah, and what I would want to add as well is that install, it's not only um, a song quality competition. It could be, it could even be somebody that did a major SPL install that is very, very accurately done with precision and documented. It could be one of those guys that does dual demos that has a pretty install, a lot of craftsmanship, engineering, whatever is done, and it's documented, and you could do a presentation on that, and you could be scored for an install competition. And I think Bud summed it up as Steve said, it's a completely separate competition to sound quality, but it is a component of sound quality.
Right. It is a part of the sound quality league.
Yes.
It's just two separate divisions,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
Right. When you're an upper echelon sound quality car, your install is going to be a factor in your sound to begin with. So to some degree, the install needs to be executed properly in order to achieve certain levels of quality. So they kind of go hand in hand in that respect, but it is not necessarily a judge requirement.
I agree.
Correct. So, do we have any other questions out here? It looks like they're starting to trickle down here. So, any guys that have anything to ask or say here? Like I said, I'm having trouble with my chat section here. We're trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep up on my phone. I think Tony's using an iPad there. But if we miss one of your questions or one of your statements or something, go ahead and say it again, and we'll try to get to you real quick here. Wallace said he's just ready to get it on. I think a lot of us are getting to that point, Wallace. We're getting to that point. A lot of us got that cabin fever. We got that itch. We're ready to get back there on the road, in the air, whatever it is we got to do to try to keep growing this thing. And we're really looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to come to Trinidad and Clifford.
Excited to have you guys.
Yeah. So I did that today. So got that figured out. We got a busy couple months coming, starting. I'm hoping I'm going fishing the second week of February, and then after that, I think we're going Florida, we're going Trinidad, we're going Texas, we're going all over the place for the next month and a half. So it's not going to be too long here. Don't worry, we're going to be getting it. I know that much.
Well, Bud, if you're going fishing, it better be in the southern hemisphere. Old fish don't bite.
No, they do.
Not down here, they don't.
Well, I fish catfish. So they do slow down. They do slow down a lot when it gets cold. But to be honest with you, I've caught my biggest fish in the wintertime.
Are you a noodler?
No, we fish with rod and reels, but and I got a buddy with a boat. We before I bought MECA, I used to fish a lot of like amateur. I mean, we fished the Cabela's King Cat Tour for a year, but I don't know. We just catfish a lot, and the wintertime is actually pretty good. It's just slow. You got to be willing to sit out on a boat for 8 hours and maybe catch 3 or 4 fish. But
that's commitment.
That's patience.
But there's a tournament we fish every year down on Old Hickory Lake in Tennessee, the second week of February this year, and I don't know. We know that lake pretty good, so usually even when it's cold outside, we'll go. That's one lake where we can go catch 15 or 20 fish in a day, so that's pretty good. So we like fishing that tournament. But my buddy that owns the boat messed his arm up, and he just had dorsal tunnel and I don't know, corporal tunnel surgery and all that stuff. And so he can't reel a fish. So he's trying to act like he might not go if he can't heal his arm fast enough. I said, you just drive the boat, I'll reel.
There you go. That's what I was going to say. He can damn sure drive the boat.
But
all right, one more question since you're the catfish king. Are you a cornmeal guy or a batter guy?
when I fish, so when I fished, I used to fish pay lakes. That's how I got started, and I used a lot of dough balls and stuff like that. But
no, I'm talking about when you fry them up. When
What
you
if
fry them up, is it cornmeal or batter?
I like cornmeal.
Amen.
So I think there's a Louisiana brand is the one I like. It's got a little bit of kick on it, and it's cornmeal based. So
okay. Good.
Let's see. When should we expect the new tracks? Hopefully, when the rule book drops here in about a week, we'll be able to get those out to you guys at that point.
Clifford, was that an earthquake down there? What was that?
No, that was me getting ready to go. That was me getting ready to go and do something else.
Ah.
I want to say, let's see. Wallace asked the date for Aggie Land. I can look that up real quick.
That's the 6th and 7th of April.
Yep, that's correct. Shannon said, "Will the rules be out by the 1st, or will there be more time needed?" So, I said it a little bit earlier. I do believe we're on schedule. At the minimum, sound pressure, sound quality, and dueling demo rulebook will be ready. We might need just a little bit more time on the show and shine rulebook because we are still kind of going through that one, and that was the last one that I was going to look at here. The sound pressure rulebook is definitely ready to go. Dueling demo rulebook's probably about a day out. Sound quality rulebook should be ready as soon as I get all the notes here and we can make the edits. I know all the discussions and stuff. I think all the decisions have been made. We just have to put the edits in. So I do think we're on good schedule to make the February 1st deadline as long as my internet site cooperates with me. They should be back by then.
Tony, you seeing anything on your side?
No more questions. Just catfish stuff.
Ah, okay. Are you trying to catfish as we speak?
Yeah. Well, I guess at this point in time, I want to thank everybody for coming on and talking with us this evening. I do think we did get a few questions answered there. Again, we'll try to get these guys on here periodically to help any of our sound quality guys. Again, I want to thank Mr. Clifford, Trinidad Tobago licensee, international trainer, R&E member. I want to thank you for coming on tonight and helping us answer these questions. Mr. Steve, again, thank you. Long time SQ guy, trying to help us kick this thing the right way. And then, of course, you guys know Tony. So I want to thank all three of you guys for your help this last few months. And, I'm pretty excited about what's to come. I'm looking forward to kicking this thing off and seeing what we can do together. And I appreciate it. And looking forward to what's to come.
Yes.
Us
If you
too.
guys want to say anything as we cut out here, I'll let you guys say something and let you go one at a time here. So, you got anything for us as you exit, Mr. Clifford?
No, I'm just excited and ready for this season 2024 with our new, our new set of tracks and some wonderful changes done to the rules, and just excited to see what this year will bring, and hoping that it will be much better than last year. Yeah, and
Sounds good, Clifford.
always appreciated being asked to attend, and always willing to serve. Let's just say that.
Thanks, Clifford. You have a good night, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, Steve. It
Yes,
was
sir.
real, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
You got any last words for the people?
I'm just excited, like Clifford said, for this season. We get to go out there and really get back into the trenches with this organization that we've all, or at least the seasoned competitors, have grown to love over the years. Looking forward to the resurgence. Looking forward to the crossover competitors. Looking forward to the new music. And I think it's an exciting time for SoundQ. If we can all work together, and you're going to see the competitor numbers increase across the board. I'm thrilled with it, actually.
All righty. Well, thank you, Mr. Steve, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon. And I'm sure we'll get you back on here again at some point. Have a good night, sir.
Absolutely.
And then I guess last but not least, Mr. Tony. We're getting close to cutting out of here. So I appreciate you coming on with me tonight and answer some of these guys' questions. Do you have any last words for the MECA people out there, for the MECA heads?
You're in the South, you want to come to the training, or you're anywhere and can come to Florida for the training March 2nd, and then the competition on March 3rd, show and shine, and also sound quality. So I want to make this show kind of as big as I can at my shop. It's an opportunity to have a couple of judge trainers and judges for 3 and 4X events and final events that are going to be able to evaluate your car. Music is going to be used, so I think it's going to be great. I can't wait for that. So if you can attend, if you can compete, that would be great. But even if you're a competitor and want to sit in on the training and just get an idea of exactly what we're looking for, I mean, that's perfect. So I appreciate everyone. I thank all the competitors for their time. Appreciate all the questions. And if there's anything else, you guys can message us anytime that you want. We'll help in any way we can.
All right, Tony. Well, you have a good night, buddy, and I appreciate you. And we'll talk to you again soon here. We'll talk to you later, Tony. All right, guys. I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up. Again, I want to thank my guys for coming on with me and helping me get some of these questions answered. Again, I'm gonna try to do this periodically here. Some of the stuff that maybe I might not be able to answer, or you might not want my answer. We'll do the best we can to get get the folks on here that we can get you answered with. So with that being said, I think the last couple things I said earlier in the thing, Tony went over it. We do have a training March 2nd and 3rd in Orlando. I plan on doing lives with Africa on at least, I guess we're shooting for 2 times a month. The next time will be February 7th, February 21st at 11 Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. That's evening for those guys. So we'll be trying to reach a lot of their competitors that way. I'll still be doing my regularly scheduled live Wednesday evening. But I will be throwing in some lives with Africa and maybe some of the other guys here soon. Make sure you check out our event schedule, mecacaraudio.com. Make sure you click all events. I think we're upwards of 90 events at this point, and we do update that often. So make sure you're keeping up with your event schedule. I'm not seeing any more questions here right this second. So I guess with all that said, I want to say I appreciate all you guys out there in MECA land. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow our page here on Facebook. Check out my TikTok on TikTok. I try to put a lot of short clips and things up there. Nothing too special, but make sure you check us out. And we're really looking forward to getting this year popping off and giving you guys another season to remember. And with all that said, until next time, keep it loud and clear, MECA heads.